Thank you very much. I've been fixated by this beautiful chandelier, and the reason is I'm from the UK, and consistently what gets voted as the funniest sketch over the last 4 decades involves a chandelier falling down on someone presenting. So if you see me taking a couple of steps left and right, that's the reason. My name is Manish Chand. I'm the Chief Design Officer of OstomySecure, and I'm really excited to tell you a little bit about our innovative stoma continence device. Because every year, there are millions of patients that undergo abdominal surgery, and I'm glad to report overwhelmingly the vast majority do very well. And that means they go home early, they recover quickly, they don't get complications. And that's largely due to people like yourselves, who champion and support research and innovation that allows people like me, a surgeon, to offer my patients best-in-class treatment. People like Tom. Tom underwent a robotic colorectal cancer surgery. And I'm glad to report he went home after a few days, no complications, he's back to work, and most importantly, his cancer's clear and removed. He would be considered a clinical and statistical success. One may say a marvel of modern medicine. So we all go away happy. But there are over 1 million patients like Tom. And what do I mean by that? Patients that have a stoma. And we often forget that having a stoma can be an overwhelming burden for people. It can become the central focal point of their life, dictating what they can and can't do. And we need to consider this forgotten group. And it's sad that we're going to see so much research and innovation this week, and we have done over the last years. But stoma research and innovation hasn't moved on in decades. And the only game in town is this, a stoma bag. We know that patients that have stomas suffer physical challenges, and that may be skin irritation, it may be a hernia, but actually there's a huge psychological component to it too. And that may be loss of self-esteem, for example. And then there's the societal impact. Often patients with stomas don't feel as though they can participate in society in the same way those that don't have stomas can do so. So we've recognized this unmet need, and we know that there are at least 10 million ostomates worldwide, and over 1 million are created each year. So we recognize this as a significant opportunity to bring a huge benefit to an underrepresented group of patients, and primarily to improve quality of life, but also perhaps improve some of the medical complications that they have to go through. And of course, with innovation often comes economic benefit too. So we at OstomySecure have developed the TIES continence system. So patients don't have to wear a bag, they have a lid. One can think of it as contact lenses to a glasses wearer. And this is how it works. Through an ambulatory procedure, a small implant is placed under the skin through which the stoma comes through. We then apply our digital lid, the eyelid. The patient can wear the lid 6 to 8 hours a day, and then go back home and change it back to a more traditional bag-like system. Gives them freedom, wrestles back that freedom that they may have lost through having this stoma. The core component of our system is this implant, and it's a hybrid implant made of titanium and hernia mesh. This is the type of hernia mesh that we already use to repair stomal hernias. It's been an evolution of 10 years worth of work, and this current version, I have to say, is our most exciting yet. Once the implant's placed, we put on the eyelid. And the eyelid allows patients to reconnect with their stoma. It presents them with information. It gives them some degree of control of what's going on with their stoma. They're being presented with real-time monitoring of the pressure, for example, of the effluent that's being presented to it, and it can integrate with electronic healthcare records through your watch, through your phone, through your iPad. And I think this is an important part of this journey for these patients, that they feel as though they're back in control of something which they've lost control of. We're currently going through a phase 2 clinical study, and we've been implanting patients as recently as yesterday morning. These patients will serve as the foundation for our pivotal randomized controlled trial of 160 patients that begins in London later this year. And the primary outcome measure for that is quality of life. This is a quality of life product rather than it being a medical benefit to reduce complications, for example. Here's a couple of pictures fresh off the press. This is what it looks like when implanted. And you can see that it's a secure fit. It's a nice lightweight design, discreet underclothing, and of course, easy to use, which is the most important thing for our patients. And they love it. And it's heartwarming to read these testimonials that something so simple of replacing a bag with a lid leads to such a huge improvement in quality of life. We're exceptionally proud as a company that we have the first and only continent stoma mechanism. We have over 3,000 patients waiting to be part of our clinical study, and it's a versatile implant for temporary, permanent, for urostomy, colostomy, ileostomy. We feel as though we have first mover advantage, and that gives us competitive advantage. And the market opportunity is significant too. As I've already mentioned, 10 million ostomates in existence, 1 million being created every year. On average, patients spend $2,500 or euros on the consumables that come with a stoma. So it's recurring revenue. And when we look at the figures, they're compelling. This is a huge market opportunity because if you take just 10% of the newly formed stomas every year, you're looking at recurring revenue of 250 million. And then if you go and attack the current stoma market, you're looking at numbers that are even more impressive. And here there is no competitor. It's either this or a bag. We have a clear path to the market, and that goes through our clinical and regulatory framework, looking for market launch as we head into 2027 across the various regions. It's a great opportunity, and it's, of course, dependent on these regulatory milestones that we hope to get through starting later this year, and then as we move through 26 and 27 to get regulatory approval, first through the UK, and then we come back for the States. We take our intellectual property very seriously, and we have coverage over the major geographical areas. We have over 60 patents and working on those daily. So I'm hugely impressed with our team that have been able to cover this device over the years. And more impressed that I work with this wonderful leadership team that's headed by Graham Smith, an industry veteran, as I like to call him, who successfully negotiated 5 exits from startups. I have Professor Stephen Wexner as head of my advisory board, who, if not in the States and the rest of the world, is certainly one of the most famous surgeons out of the Cleveland Clinic that gives us wonderful subject matter expertise. We have a diverse board, and I'm confident with this diverse set of skills and expertise, we'll be able to navigate this journey, this exciting journey. And with that, I will leave you with the invitation to come and embark with us on this journey as we try and make a difference for this underrepresented group of patients. We're here looking for funding. We're in a Series A of $20 million, and that's going to take us through past these regulatory parts of the framework. So with that, I'll bid you farewell, and I'm glad I avoided that chandelier.